Good night, Royal. Good night. And good evening, everybody all over the world tonight, parts of Arkansas. I'm David Sachs. Great to be with you. Another Saturday night. Coming to you live from the campus of the University of Memphis. What a great show I've got tonight. I've got my mother in the house with me tonight. I can't believe it. My mother, come on up to the microphone for a second. No, I got the mama. Mama, come on over for a second. My mother Sylvia's here tonight. How about that, everybody? And my nephew is here, James, and my sister Sheila. They're in from. James came down from Canada. He's a student in British Columbia, up at the University of Vancouver up there.
University of Victoria, British Columbia.
In British Columbia, and Mom, good to say hi to everybody. My mother Sylvia. It's so great. Wow, I love you too, Mom. It's so great to have the whole family's here tonight. I tell you, what a great night here tonight at the University of Memphis, and it's family night here on the David Sachs Show. I'll tell you, I couldn't be happier. All right, now let's see. I'll tell you, it is. Got some new music now tonight from Antonio Adolfo. He's got a new collection out now called Hybrido. Here he is right now with Deluge. That was lovely music. That was BGA there, who lives in Nashville now, I believe, with a little piece of music called Taking a Chance on Love. I like that piece. Mama, you like that? That's pretty good. BGA there is pretty good, isn't she? I like her. She lives in Nashville. Mom and I have been sitting here reminiscing some old times. And we were talking earlier tonight about some of the great musicians. With K-Star, who played in Memphis for a long time, and you actually got to spend some time at the Peabody Skyway and saw some of the great big bands. Back in the 1950s, you could spend the evening at the Peabody Skyway for $2.50 and see Tommy Dorsey. Jimmy Dorsey, who played back then, and K-Star. Oh goodness, a lot of great musicians back then, and the Peabody was quite a place to hang out back then. Wow, it was something. Wow, how was the trip into Memphis, Mom?
Beautiful.
Was it great? Yeah.
Your sister's a great driver.
She's a great driver. Yeah, it's great. Well, my goodness, I'm telling you, I'm glad the weather. I mean, we've had such bad weather here the last couple of weeks. I was without power for 5 days. And actually, it was kind of a relief. I didn't have to answer any email. I didn't have to answer the phone. It was just absolutely great. I had plenty of water and peanut butter for 5 days. All the perishable stuff, kind of went into the wastebasket. But my cat, he was a real trooper throughout the whole thing. He's almost 18 now and made it through without a hitch. But I'm telling you, I remember last Saturday night, Johnny Stinson called me on the phone, my pal Johnny Stinson. He's in the Bahamas right now. He decided to, take off and beat the heat and the bad weather, which was a good idea. But he called me last Saturday night. I missed his call. I saw the message on the phone, and I'm here talking about the weather last Saturday night, like, we're going to get a little rain, and it's going to be nice tomorrow morning for Malvin's show and all this stuff. And then Johnny calls me, and he said, "Man, what are you still doing there?" I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, man, you better get home right now. Your home might not be there." I said, "Really? You kidding?" Yeah. So and it was about 5 minutes to midnight, so I stayed and finished the show. And when I went outside, it was like a scene out of the Twilight Zone. I couldn't believe it. Was incredible. I was dodging trees in the street like a pinball, in a Bally's arcade game. And it was an amazing thing to see. The whole city was just blacked out. It was like the most nightmarish, unbelievable thing to see last Saturday night, really way beyond what Hurricane Elvis was. But I was without power for 5 days, and so I had a good time playing chess with my cat, and had a great time, So it was just, it was great. So, but it was really amazing. Some of my neighbors were not so fortunate. The guy across the street from me, bless his heart, the poor guy, brand spanking new Mercedes-Benz. Absolutely beautiful, brand new Mercedes coupe. Fabulous. 100-year-old oak tree fell on it and smashed that thing flat to the ground. It was an absolutely beautiful car. But that's all the homes where the roofs were sheared off and it was just nightmarish, incredible. And still, sadly, there's still quite a few people in Shelby County without power right now. So hopefully, that's hopefully going to end within a few hours for so many of those people. And I hope that the good Lord above is shining on those people right now and keeping them safe. There's so many of our citizens here in the city of Memphis right now who are sick and who need help and who can't be without power for a long time. And many of them, so we worry about them. And hopefully those of you who have, your parents, your grandparents and great-grandparents, aunts and uncles, you need to check on them, make sure that they're fine, that they have cold water, and they have what they need to survive this terrible storm that we had. But hats off to certainly to the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division. Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division. By golly, they are heroes. Heroes, man, you betcha. And to all of our friends from all over the United States, all of our friends all over America, everybody who came from Ohio and from Louisiana, from Mississippi, Arkansas, Georgia, Alabama, from Florida, from Texas, from all over the United States who came to help us at this terrible time. Thank you so much. I felt last Saturday night like that scene out of The Twilight Zone with Burgess Meredith, where he's the bank teller who decides to take his lunch in the bank vault. He goes in there and falls asleep on his lunch break, and when he wakes up, it's been a nuclear holocaust. He goes outside, and he's the last man on Earth. And that's what I felt like leaving here last Saturday night. I couldn't believe it. It was absolutely chaos, absolute incredible chaos. Everything, the whole city was blacked out. I could not believe the damage. I'm dodging falling trees like a pinball in the street. It was an amazing thing to see, and I certainly don't want to experience anything like that again. I'm telling you, it's incredible. All right, so sit back and relax. We're going to have some weather for you in a minute and some music right now. That's the music of Billy Childs from his new collection entitled Rebirth. And I believe that was the music of, who was it, Sheila, that did the Umbrellas of Cherbourg? That was, what was his name? The great French composer that, I can't remember. Oh my goodness. I drew a blank. My mom's in the house, I'm telling you, I drew a blank. I can't remember.
That was it.
I can't remember. Well, I'm working on it. Anyway, that's The Windmills of Your Mind. Great piece of music from Billy Childs in his new collection entitled Rebirth. All right, let's look at the weather right now, what we've got going on outside right now. We've got quite an evening here in the city of Memphis, quite a bit more pleasant than it was last Saturday night. Right now we have cloudy skies, partly cloudy, 80 degrees Fahrenheit right now, 27 degrees right now Celsius for our friends listening in Germany and our friends listening in Canada right now over in British Columbia tonight, where my nephew James is doing his college stomp. Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, you've got Malvin Massey, Images of Jazz, and his Latin Cruise at noontime. You'll have a sunny, beautiful morning, even though we've got rain on the way tomorrow. It'll be a beautiful sunny day with Malvin. Cloudy skies and a high of, oh my goodness, is that 83 degrees? Yeah, and south winds about 5. Chance of rain tomorrow is 70%, so take the umbrella with you and stay dry. Tomorrow night, 50% chance of rain. Otherwise, it'll be cloudy with a low of about 71 degrees. South winds about 10, and new rainfall amounts between 1/4 of an inch and about 1/2 an inch, something like that. Monday, what does it look like Monday, James? What do we got going on Monday?
Well, if it looks, it seems like there's going to be some showers and thunderstorms there, but they should be out, around noon or so, before 1. Mostly cloudy, high near 84, west-southwest wind around 5 miles an hour.
That's absolutely incredible, man. You need to change your major to meteorology. You're doing a great job.
I tried.
Monday night, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 1 o'clock, otherwise cloudy with a few, clouds and low about 68. Tuesday, it's going to be sunny and lovely with a high of 83 degrees. And Tuesday night, what does it look like Tuesday night, James?
Tuesday night, it's going to be pretty clear Tuesday night. Actually, low temperature about 62 degrees.
Very nice. And sunny Wednesday. Oh, man, it's going to be sunny and lovely with a high of 82 degrees and fabulous. Okay, sit back and relax right now. Right now over Herzog Drive. Herzog, we all know the Herzogs. Herzog Drive is right behind me here in the center of the campus of the University of Memphis. And can you believe this? My mother grew up with the Herzogs. They're our relatives. And Zach Curlin Drive, the Curlin family. So it's like when I'm here on Saturday night, it's like I'm at home with my family. So over Herzog Drive, which is in the heart of the campus of the University of Memphis, tonight we've got cloudy skies, 80 degrees, and for our friends listening around the world, in Canada and in Germany tonight, we've got 27 degrees. Sit back and relax. My mom's in the house. More music on the way. That's the music of Corey Weeds for you and the Jeff Hamilton Trio with a piece of music from their CD entitled Dreamsville. And, of course, who can I turn to? My nephew James is in the house tonight, and he's got some Tony Bennett he pulled up. We're going to play in just a second. What's it like being a film student?
It's pretty interesting. I should mention I'm a film minor, not a film major, but it's interesting. One of the best things that the University of Victoria does is that the fine arts department there actually lets you rent out film equipment, and we're talking about professional lighting kits. We're talking about cameras, and I mean, like, you know, high end DSLRs and whatnot. It's very it's one of the most incredible experiences you'll ever have.
Wow, that's great. You're not far from Celluloid Planet there too, just south of you there. Los Angeles isn't far from you. It's about 1,000 miles.
Yeah, about 1,000 miles down to west. And keep in mind, I'm on an island as well, so.
Yeah, one of the most beautiful islands in the entire world, the universe. Man, British Columbia is paradise, man. It's an incredible
Absolutely.
place. You're such a fortunate thing to be in such a magnificent place up there. Now, the university has a student population of what, about 14,000, something like that?
I'd say a little more than that, probably, but I'd say it's definitely smaller than the University of Memphis here is.
Okay, without upsetting anybody, how would you compare it to American universities?
It's very similar, but without going into details, I'd say it has its perks. For
It
sure.
has its perks. I say, well, first of all, it's located in paradise. That's one thing. It's magnificent up
Well,
there, and you're on an
absolutely.
island.
When I live in residence, well, I still live in residence when I'm up there. Where the residence buildings are, you can go down the hill and you're right there at a Cadborough Bay, which is where the beach is and everything.
Is that amazing? Well, how close are you to, what is it, the Bering Strait? Is it the...
Oh, in Alaska, that's
Alaska.
thousands of miles. Thousands of miles.
Now, I know they have that Strategic Air Command base isn't far from you, where they're keeping an eye on Russian military aircraft, and they're keeping an eye on United States aircraft. and so-
I think that's in Port Roberts, which it's interesting because it's a part of Washington State.
I see.
But in order to get there, you have to drive into British Columbia,
Right.
Go and then drive out of British Columbia, and if I remember correctly, it's the only part of the United States that can only be accessed by going through Canada.
I see. Do you drive on the right side of the street or the left side of the street?
We
up there?
drive on the same side of the street as we do
That's cool.
in the U.S. The only difference
Well-
is we use kilometers.
Yeah, because I didn't know for sure, because I know it's part of the British Commonwealth. So,
Absolutely, but
yeah.
yeah,
But
no, we
still,
drive on the same
Canada
side.
has its autonomy as well, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's probably tough to make the change if you drive south in the United States. All of a sudden, you're switching over to the left side, and so they want to avoid, accidents and that kind of stuff.
Of course, and I think the other thing too, if I remember correctly, is it's because when all the cars started, when automobiles first became popular, most of them were coming from the United States,
I see.
so
Yeah,
I think it was
for
only
the-
natural.
For tourism,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. What do you have to do now in order to go from the United States to Canada? Do you need a passport, or is it just a driver's license or a birth certificate, or what do you need these days?
To visit Canada, you need a passport. And
Need a
I
passport.
found this out. If you live in British Columbia or Washington State, you can apply for a driver's license. It's valid in both, and it's works just as well as a passport at the border checkpoints.
Very cool. Very, very cool. My goodness, what's the political climate up there like? I mean, how did politically, how do the Canadians feel about the political climate in the United States?
Without going
Upsetting
and
anybody.
Strongly,
Yeah.
but also in comparison, the climate up there is much more peaceful down here.
Yeah.
It's much more civil, I'll say.
And about the only crime you have up there is an overtime parking ticket. That's about it.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, it's fairly accurate.
Do they have ice cream up there?
Yes, we do. And
Because I know it's so cold, I can't understand why Eskimos would eat that stuff.
Not only do we have ice cream, but we have maple flavored ice cream, and
You
it's
gotta
some
be
of the
kidding
best
me.
stuff I've ever had in my entire
They're
life.
magnificent. Well, I'm telling you, you're living the life. I'm so glad to have you.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be
My
here.
my wonderful nephew, who I love so much, James Christensen's in the house with me tonight. Man, I tell you, I'm so glad he's here. I never get to see him. I'm hoping he's going to be the next Steven Spielberg. Of course, he's on his way to becoming a filmmaker, and got a great start at a great university up there in Canada, where he's at right now. I wish it was daytime. I could really show you what a beautiful campus we have here at the University of Memphis. You know, it's a great place.
I've seen a bit. It's gorgeous here. I mean, also, you know, I haven't
All the
been to
new
Memphis
construction,
in-
it's amazing, really. All the new things.
You know, what's funny is, you know, people never talk about how beautiful Memphis is, but honestly, just driving around here, there are some really, really beautiful parts of the city.
Isn't it beautiful? I'm
It's a
telling you.
gorgeous city.
Yeah, and even Fraser. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's a beautiful place. I tell you it is. It's a magnificent. Parkway Village, Fraser, Hickory Hill, some beautiful places. Well, it really is. Downtown Memphis is really booming. You know, a lot of new construction down there. It's an amazing. Now, the last time, really, I mean, I remember when you were a little boy, you were here for Aunt Joe, Aunt Joe, Uncle Joe and Aunt Harriet's their wedding anniversary. What was it, the 50th
Their
anniversary?
50th wedding
I think you were here,
anniversary,
and man, you were doing that little terpsichore there on the dance floor with Shirley Weinman and everybody. You looked like you were having a good time dancing at that thing.
I mean, I was. I can't dance much, you know, nowadays, but, you know, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not a very good dancer.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Well, they've got a great salsa place downtown. You'd probably like to take you down there, meet some of the girls down there. You'd probably have a good time. I know your girlfriend might not like that, though.
No, which, by the way, shout out to Emily. Love you.
So let's see, what do we got up next? We've got some great music for you here. We've got Wynton Marsalis, and Wynton spent a little time at Lincoln Center with his orchestra and created a really nice tribute album to the late, great John Lewis, and here he is right now. Erwin Kenner, Mark Novarese, by golly, I'll tell you what, they're two of the greatest guys in the world. They are, you betcha, by golly, they are. They are. Erwin is there right now. He's got a lexicon trying to figure out the language I've been using tonight. So good luck with that, Erwin. It's great to hear from you, brother, and happy Shavuos. I'll talk to you soon. That's some nice music, I'll tell you. That's Wynton Marsalis and his guys, featuring John Batista. Batista. Did I say that correctly, James?
Yeah, Batista. That sounds right to me.
Batista. John Batista, the music of John Lewis, and that was a very popular piece of music called 3 Degrees East and 3 Degrees West. Wait a minute, no, I got that wrong. That's 2 degrees east and 3 degrees west. That's where my tool shed ended up last Saturday night, it did. That's where it ended up last Saturday night. My tool shed actually ended up there last Saturday night. It did. 2 degrees east and 3 degrees west. I had a hard time when I got home. I couldn't believe it. I took the flashlight out of the glove box, and I just pointed it in the backyard, and my backyard was gone. And my tool shed was 2 degrees east and 3 degrees west. So there you go. Anyway, Erwin and Mark, I hope you got your power back on. I know you guys are having a great time tonight. I wish I was there shooting some bull with you. It would sure be great. All right, we're going to play some music from Tony Bennett right now. There's some very nice trumpet work from Michael Morial from his Love and Influence collection, and a piece of music entitled Another Old Different Place. I like that. You like that, James? Another
it's
Old
wonderful.
Different Place. That's
It's
good.
wonderful.
Isn't that great? Where did they come up with these titles? It's like Wayne Shorter, who played with Weather Report, is a great composer. He worked with Chick Corea for some time, and Barry Altshuler. He worked with, oh goodness, who else? Dave Holland, one of the greatest bassists of all time, worked with him.
Mm-hmm.
But Wayne, when he kind of went out on his own to do his own thing, and is a remarkable composer, was composing music on the order of like John Cage, Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, the Berrios, Lucas Foss, Let's see who else. The Kontarskis, and some of those guys. The avant-garde kind of music. Wayne Shorter kind of went in that direction back in the early to mid 1970s, and he came up with these incredible titles, but the titles all had something to do with temperature.
Right.
For example, his saxophone solos would incorporate these remarkable passages and all these remarkable arpeggiated kinds of things. And the titles of the pieces were things like 708.51 Kelvin. You know, Kelvin, which is a temperature like of the sun's surface. Or something like 1501.7 Celsius, you know, or something like that. And he came up with these titles. How do they come up with these titles? What is it? Is it indigestion? I mean, what do they?
You know, like, inspiration comes from anywhere, I've noticed. You know, no, it's like I've done a fair bit of writing, right? And sometimes inspiration comes from even stuff as simple as, you know, ordering a salad, you know?
Of course. Like the crouton concerto.
Yeah, or, you know, I don't know, the ranch dressing rondo, you know?
That's fantastic. That'd absolutely be great. Yeah, the Symphony. Sesame Symphony. I'm telling you, I don't know where they come up with these doggone titles. It's amazing, but it's extraordinary. You know, I suppose writers have the same kind of things going on. You know, with the music. So with the literature, whatever they do.
Absolutely.
And Phil, what are some of the remarkable titles you've seen? Some of the movies you've seen?
Just in general?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a bit of everything. I've seen everything from B movies to classics, sci-fi.
You know, like Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Mm-hmm.
Where did Ed Wood come up with the title for that film?
Probably just hit him in a dream one night.
It must have. It's really amazing. I mean, the amazing title.
If we're talking sci-fi, though, I gotta say, you know, there's always the whole stigma of can't beat the original. I'm sure it's not the original, but I'll say there's never been a better sci-fi, and I guess I'd go as far to say, you know, pure sci-fi film as the 1927 Metropolis.
That's a great. Metropolis is a magnificent film. That was it Todd Browning who directed that?
Fritz Lang.
Fritz Lang, that's right. Well, Todd Browning, of course, directed Dracula and Freaks, which is an amazing film to see. Amazing film. What about The Attack of the Killer Tomatoes?
A classic. All I'll say about that one is if you haven't seen it, you need to.
Yeah, that's a good film. Mm-hmm. Now you have these independent film companies like Troma. You know, Troma, Troma.
Absolutely.
Troma. They're real big, aren't they? It's a big company.
I'm getting there. Yeah.
But they do a lot of indie science fiction, don't they, and stuff like.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like films like, you know, the 50-foot woman in her Cadillac attacked New York, or something like that. You know.
And of course, there's always a special place in my heart for the Sci-Fi Channel original movies.
Oh yeah. That must be something. I mean, I wonder, you know, what else these must be people with unlimited resources who just, you know, spend money on making films that nobody's going to watch. I wonder.
The funny thing is, most of these, if we're getting to this territory, you say unlimited resources, but they have
billions of coupons to redeem for filmmaking.
Yeah, I'd say they have the average budget of, you know, a fancy dinner at McDonald's.
Isn't that something? Oh my goodness! Today, if somebody just say, you know, you want to make a great film, something about maybe, you know, like let's say like the life of Magnus Carlsen, the world championship chess player, something. If you want to make a film about him, a documentary, how do you go about that? What do you like? You would like go on GoFundMe, or you have friends, or you go to the bank and you say, look, hey, I'm a college student and I want to make a film that I want millions of people, you know, throughout the world, millions of people to see, and I want them to enjoy and I want to make some money with this film. What do? You go to the bank and you ask them for money, or you get people to come around and fund this thing for you? How does it work?
Honestly, I haven't gone that far yet. Honestly, all the stuff I try to do is low, no budget. Pretty much what I or, you know, if I'm doing something collaborative, that we can fund with what, you know, the resources we already have. So, I guess it's make the best out of what you have. And as for getting it out there with YouTube and whatnot, even if it's hard to get out there on YouTube, it's a platform where anyone can post anything within reason.
How do platforms like YouTube or Netflix and Hulu and Vidu and Vizu and Voodoo, how do they impact the marketability of film and music and stuff like that? Is that still kind of a problem for some people?
For some people, like if we're talking about piracy with AAA films, there's a big problem with that. I mean, I feel like, there's definitely systems in place to, crack down on that, and I'll keep, without, offending anyone, I'll just say some of those systems could definitely use some tweaking, but I'd say for big companies it's a problem, but for small filmmakers who want to get out there or just want to post things, it gives more people a platform than
and you can audition your stuff on the internet really easily. You just get it out there, and hopefully somebody like some protege of was Martin Scorsese, somebody like that, or Francis Ford Coppola, or somebody like that's going to see your work and they're going to say, hey, look, this guy's got talent. I think I'm going to give him a job. Is that? I mean, it helps to know people in the
absolutely
industry. Like
it helps them if you go into film. I'm sure it helps you meet people, and then there's people who actually fully make a living off of YouTube, which with you have to add.
Yeah, but you only get like one half of 1% of 1,000th of a percent for monetization, don't you? For advertising.
Without going into it, you split it pretty heftily with Google, but you actually do keep the majority of what you make.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I'm not nearly big enough to go full time on YouTube, but I know some people who are, especially through the help of platforms like Patreon and whatnot, they make their full income off of creating content for YouTube every week.
Do they have banks in Los Angeles or in Hollywood that do nothing but make loans to filmmakers?
I have no idea.
I mean, I wonder if they do that, or how they fund with the things that are taking place involving copyright law and all the new stuff you see on the internet, all the new music, all the new film. The competition must be extraordinary, and it's really tough, I would say, for a loan official to make a decision whether or not to loan somebody $5, $6, $7, $14, $20, $30, $50 million to make a film.
What I'd imagine is that, people doing that, they gotta have a plan in place.
You have to have a plan in place.
Absolutely. I said I haven't personally experienced with filmmaking that skit, but as with anything, you need a plan in place, and can't just be going.
Yeah. In other words, if you wanted to make a movie about a peanut vendor who has a peanut machine and the peanuts come to life at night and they assault everybody in the city, that it's going to be tough to raise money for a film like that, I would think.
Or it could be. I mean, if worst comes to worst, you can always put it on Kickstarter.
That's a good idea. Well, that might work. Well, there are probably companies out there, who would like a film like that.
Absolutely, I'd personally watch it.
I probably would too. All right, let's see. It's 10:44 right now here on the campus. I'm talking to my nephew James is here with me tonight, and welcome everybody. How do you say good evening to everybody in Germany? In German, do you know how to say it?
I have no idea.
Hey, hold on a minute. Here, I'm fixing to say it. Here we go. Good evening to everybody in Germany. All right, is that what we can say in German?
Yeah.
We'll say it again. Good evening to everybody in Germany listening tonight. Elias, Dance of Time, the music, a piece of music called O Pato. O Pato. The O, like in A-E-I-O-U. O Pato. Pato. Did I say it right?
I think so. I think that sounds right to me.
My next question is, what does that mean? I don't know. O Pato.
Oh something.
Oh something. Well, I'll tell you, when you take a look at her, the word "oh" automatically comes into the vocabulary. I tell you, she's a great-looking gal. I'll tell you, she is. She's been around here for a while, and we love her here at WMR. She's a friend of the staff, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah. And Malvin, everybody knows her. She sends us, her new music and stuff. She's a remarkable, great musician, and man, a heck of a piano player.
Really?
Oh my goodness, man. You talk about great. That gal is absolutely spectacular. Great musician. She's something. Ileana Elias. Depends on which side of the border you're on, I guess, the way you pronounce the name. She's from Brazil.
Really?
Yeah. Groovy. Good looking, too.
Mm-hmm.
Something else. What kind of music do y'all listen to in Canada? What do you listen to? I don't know, bagpipes? What do they have?
Everything, pretty much everything. And the beautiful thing about Victoria is we really do get everything, every type of music up there. The first year I was there, I went to the Ska and Reggae Festival and I got to see Toots and the Maytals.
Yeah.
I was at the Jazz Festival.
Toots and the Maytals. That's a name I'll remember tonight before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm. A couple years ago, I was there for a jazz festival, and I got to see Tower of Power live in
Oh,
concert.
now you talk about a great band,
Mhm.
brother. They are absolutely great.
They're
They got
wonderful.
that brass section can tear off the roof of any major existing. The Taj Mahal, they could blow the roof off the Taj Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
What a band!
Absolutely, and they're fantastic. You know, for a band that's been playing since the 1960s, there's just so much energy still there. Like honestly, like even the older members of the band, the original members, they play like
They've been
my
around
age.
a long time. Tower of Power has been
Yes.
around a long time. I tell you, I think I got to see them play. I'm thinking it was 1971, the original band.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. And that same concert, I was there that day with some buddies of mine who more or less put together a very popular entertainment district here in Memphis called Overton Square.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Robinson, Jake Green, Frank Stegbauer. Let's see who else was with me that day. John Ball was there with us that day. Charlie Hull was there with us that day. And it was just before, Memphis it was an important time for Memphis. We were getting ready for what we were looking for, the liquor by the drink vote in the city of Memphis and the city, for the vote. The citizens of the city had to decide whether or not to allow liquor to be sold in hotels, in restaurants, that kind of thing. And Overton Square at that time was banking on this happening. If we had not gotten that vote at that time, well, Overton Square may not be today. It may not even exist if it hadn't been for that vote to help. It was essentially to create tourism and hospitality. This vote, that's what it was about, really, more than anything. So I was about the day or two before that vote, we all got together and went to see Tower of Power. I think Minnie Riperton was there with her band, Pacific Gas and Electric, which was a great band. This incredible band from San Francisco called Cold Blood, which was an amazing band.
Phenomenal.
Their singer was this little bitty girl. Her name was Lydia Pence. She was about 4'11". Man, that girl had a voice, I'm telling you, that you could, the Memorex commercials where the guy's blowing out the windows with the speakers. She could do that with her voice. She could shatter a martini glass with her voice. She was an amazing, her name was Lydia Pence. And it was a great band. Let's see who else played it. Grand Funk played that day at that concert. I remember they were there. It was an all-day thing at the Coliseum. It was 1971, I remember. The Tower of Power, man, those guys, just blew the roof off the place. An amazing, great band. But now they're doing all kinds of stuff. They do jazz, a little bit of everything, really. Kind of like the Rippingtons, who's kind of started out as a kind of a rock band and kind of evolved into a really great jazz, kind of fusion, kind of jazz thing. They're just terrific,
Absolutely,
But
it's wonderful.
you got to see them play. But you're so young, man, to be exposed to this kind of music. It's amazing. I manage, and it's inspiring you more than anything else to see the
absolutely.
kind of music.
And probably the best concert I've ever seen was, and very graciously, my parents for Christmas last year got me tickets to see Elton John live in concert.
What
in
a
Victoria
trip,
back in
man!
March.
I saw him play here in Memphis at Ellis Auditorium. I guess it was probably 1971, 72. I saw David Bowie play at Ellis Auditorium. Chick Corea, I've seen probably play 4 or 5 times here in Memphis with Al Di Meola and Stanley Clarke, Flora Purim, Airto Moreira, who I've seen him play. I've seen Oscar Peterson play several times. I've seen McCoy Tyner, some absolute jazz greats here in Memphis. But Elton John, man, what a show that must have been.
Oh, absolutely. What's shocking is 2 weeks later he turned 70,
Yeah.
and he has so much energy. Probably the only musician I can really call who You know, at one point in the concert, you know, there's a break between songs, and he actually goes down and he starts signing stuff for people in the audience.
Isn't that amazing?
In the middle of concert. It was incredible.
Is that something, I'm telling you? He's got plenty of vitality. He must be, I mean, what is it? What gives him the energy is it, at his age? Is it Malanta on ice? I'm wondering how he's got so much energy now that just keeps him going and going and going. It's amazing he can play like he does at his age.
I think
And
it's
he's-
just a love for it.
Isn't it
drives him.
remarkable? It's just an amazing thing to see that he can play like that. It's amazing. Maybe it's the money. I don't know.
Maybe.
It
Maybe
must
it's
be
outfits.
It's something. It must be the outfits. It's something great. Well, I'll tell you, he's full of energy. But there's so many musicians like that who are getting a second wind, so to speak, in show business today. That you're seeing so many greats that are still out there plugging and doing a great thing. You know, it's really a great time, I think. You know, really, we were talking about the internet. I think YouTube and some of the other social media sites for showcasing media like YouTube are doing a lot to help the musicians. And you know, jazz and rock and roll and hip hop and R&B and everything. It's a big, you know, you can see a big
absolutely.
resurgence of a lot of that.
And I hear people all the time complain about, you know, modern pop music and whatnot. But the honest truth is, music in general, there's more music out there than ever before, and there's so many platforms to discover, whether on YouTube, you're on Bandcamp, for those gamers out there, there's OC Remix, there's...
You know, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to be perfectly frank about this. You know, the music that's getting millions and millions a hit, a lot of that stuff sucks.
Oh, absolutely.
It does. The best music I've seen on YouTube, some of the greatest stuff I've ever seen are these sleepers that are only getting 30, 40, 50 hits that have been up on YouTube for, you know, 2-3 years. Nobody knows about them because they don't know how to get the word out. They don't subscribe. They just post this stuff and you see it. It's remarkable. Some of the most brilliant and innovative, incredible, ingenious, fantastic, creative stuff that you see that nobody sees.
Well,
it's
absolutely.
there. I mean, YouTube is a gold mine for music. You can get in there, you look around, and see stuff that nobody even knows exists. You see, might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, and get in and say, "Oh my gosh, what a genius!" Some of the solo piano stuff I've seen, solo guitar, some of the ensemble work, some of the chorale things I've seen, some of the brass quintets I've seen, stuff for cello that I've seen on YouTube.
There's some incredible
And
musicians
some of the greatest
out there.
jazz I've ever seen that nobody knows or has seen. That's been up there for years. These are real sleepers. It's amazing the talent that this world has that is showcased there. So it's literally, I'm telling you, it's a gold mine of a spectacular, innovative, incredible, great music up there. So that's a good thing about it, I think, where you can really showcase your
Absolutely.
work. People get to see who you are. You've got a fantastic website.
Well, thank you.
And you know, you have an extraordinary interest in classic gaming, which is amazing. The old Atari games and
Nintendo and whatnot.
Nintendo. It's
I'm-
amazing.
I don't know, because like when I was making a YouTube channel initially, I mean, I'm small stuff. I'm tiny, but I was like, you know, do I want to do videos where,
Oh, you're good.
yeah, do I want to do videos where I, you know, go and I travel, whatnot, or do I want to talk about games? I figured, why not both? So I did both.
There's Taco About Games. That's the name. Now the
Let's
name
talk
of the song-
about games.
Let's Talk About Games. It's incredible. They go hang out in a Mexican restaurant and they talk about the taco, TACO. Let's Talk About Games. Only my nephew could come up with something like that. We were talking about Dungeons and Dragons earlier, which I remember, you know, one of my old friends, Terry Davenport, who's a great fiction writer. I haven't seen him. I wonder where, I hope he's listening to it. I wish he'd give me a call. I haven't talked to him in a while. But Terry's a remarkable guy. I haven't seen him in a long time. But he started that, what do they call it? The collection for anachronistic, innovative kinds of creative assemblage. I don't know what the name of it is. It's something
Neither do
like
I.
that. But they're still meeting over here in Audubon Park. What is it, on Sunday afternoon? And they play the Dungeons and Dragons. But these old games, the old board games now, you're seeing a lot of that is, you know, it's software applicable now.
Absolutely. Well, and the thing about tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons is I'd go as far to say is it's more popular than ever before because it, you know, as for better or worse, it's one of the few ways you can get people around a table and just talking with each other, you know, especially because
that's a
you're
great
acting
thing.
out these stories.
Yeah, absolutely great. It's incredible. Well, I was never, I think, your mother and I used to play this incredible board game when we were kids. It was called Stratego, where, you have battleships, and now they have an electronic version of it, I think, where you could torpedo the opponent and stuff like that with real battle sounds. But then back then we played with like checker chips and stuff, or the checker game and stuff. But now it's a whole new ball game, I'll tell you. It's amazing to even see the technology where it's going with a lot of that stuff.
I'll be honest, some of it amazes me. And keep in mind, I'm very retro inclined, so some weeks it's like I'm going to go back and play a lot of Sega stuff from the '90s, Sega Genesis stuff, and then next week I'm like, I'm going to play a new PlayStation 4 game, and even to jump just from that in such a short period of time, it still impresses me.
So you still work some of the platforms. It's still DOS and 3.1 Windows and 95 and
Oh yeah.
Windows 98. You can still you're playing with games that still use those. Now that stuff is very collectible, and in some
Absolutely.
cases it has an extraordinary value. Hello, YouTube. It's great to be with you, and of course my lovable nephew. I'm so glad to be with you, and hello to all of his friends and everyone all over the world. Thanks for being with us tonight. It's great. I'm having a great time.
Sorry,
It's wonderful.
sorry, part of the last
I
clip
love
got
this
cut
kid.
off.
He's wonderful. I love him. I love him.
I need to do this more often.
We do. We will.
Who knows? Maybe this will be the impetus for me to start podcasting or live streaming or something.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you. And if I sound like I have a speech impediment, I bit my lip a little while ago, and I'm earning. Oh, I'm okay. A peach impediment. Oh my God. And a Georgia peach impediment. It's the music of Norman Brown for you. From Let It Go. It's a classic old tune. Ooh, Child. Brings back some memories. The late 1960s. I remember who did that song. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. I can't remember who did that song. I can't remember. It's a great tune. Great song. I'll tell you it was. We were talking about Brian Wilson a little while ago from the Beach Boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, what a composer that guy was. Pet Sounds, of course, is at the top of the list of Rolling Stone's greatest rock and roll albums.
Well, it's phenomenal.
So it's an incredible album. But the thing about Brian I was going to mention, of course, we're a jazz station. What I was going to mention about Brian, there's a great documentary you mentioned about Brian that, who is it, Oliver Stone or somebody made
I
it?
forget who did it, but it came out a few years ago, and I remember Emily, my girlfriend, she showed it to me, and it's a wonderful documentary on Brian Wilson. Get it if you type in Brian Wilson documentary, the IMDb page is the first thing that comes up on Google.
Well, the reason why I brought him up, Brian Wilson is one of George Gershwin's greatest fans. He loves George Gershwin. He has always loved George Gershwin and his music. And a couple of years ago, he recorded this phenomenal tribute album to George Gershwin. And I don't know that we have it. I'd like to play it. It's an amazing collection of music that he wrote and music as a tribute to Gershwin and his music. But what amazed me, believe it or not, it was amazing to me that the Beach Boys, of all people, Brian Wilson, of course, the founding member of the Beach Boys, was mesmerized by the music of George Gershwin. That's who inspired him more than anybody, by his own words, that's who gave him the inspiration to create the popular American music that he did, which now is popular worldwide music still to this day. But if anybody deserves accolades, it's Brian Wilson. Man,
Absolutely.
an amazing, incredible
genius.
composer. Oh my gosh, yes. There are few people like that in the world. Really great. Who, of course, his life has been filled with ups and downs. But then again, I think to be a great musician, every great musician has had his peaks and valleys in his life. Like Chet Baker, for example, a great trumpeter. Amazing. Nina Simone, amazing. Billie Holiday. They were the greatest. But their lives were full of out of control nastiness, you know. And they had great times too. But I think that the sweet and the sour came together to create extraordinary music. Since that's what it takes, I think, to be great. You know, so the great artists really suffer for their music. They do, like Toulouse-Lautrec did for his art, you know, or Marc Chagall, or Renoir, or any of the great artists, any of the great, you know, surrealists. Vincent van Gogh, you know, who tried to take his own life. You know, Jackson Pollock, remarkable. You know, and the musicians are in the same genre, but also people in other, you know, in science and technology, engineering,
Absolutely.
everything. I mean, greatest scientists. Look at how Einstein suffered for his work. You know, Alfred North Whitehead, Bertrand Russell, the way they suffered. You know, to do the things they did, and the regrets they had for coming up with the ideas they had, which led to the, you know, to nuclear
weapons.
You know, and of course Einstein, who went directly to President Roosevelt and said, "No, don't use this thing." You know, and it's an amazing time, really. You know, but of course, you know, we all know the outcome. Sadly, tragically, horrifically, ended the war, the Second World War. But it seems like the greats really suffer, like Thomas Edison, you know, who had his problems, his ups and downs.
And then by extension, you know, his effects on Nikola Tesla.
Of course. Tesla died in poverty. There's a new Tesla car out now. You were telling me about. So
Yeah, the new Tesla car. I think it's the Model 3, and it's something like $30,000
Woo!
new.
Have you seen the flying car yet? The Terraflugia?
Yeah, I saw it
Woo,
in a video.
man.
That's incredible.
It's an amazing thing to see. It's really a flying car. This thing is amazing. You know, pull out of your driveway, get on the street. You can actually drive this thing on the street, up and down the street, up and down the highway, and then when you're ready to fly it, push a button, and the wings pop out from the side, and you've got this turboprops, and this thing can take off vertically from a standstill and then fly. It's an amazing thing to see, called the Terraflugia. What the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is perfecting this thing. It's an amazing thing to see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, it is.
And then there's the robots coming from. I think it's Boston Dynamics who's making these incredibly just complex robots.
What is it they're doing in Dubai right now? They've got like RoboCop is over there now.
Literal RoboCops now. I don't think they're armed or anything, but you know, I know you can go up to these robotic cops and you can report crimes, or they'll surround crime scenes and stuff like that.
Is that amazing? I mean, I can't imagine. You know, a robot pointing a deadly laser at me, saying, "You must put money in that parking meter." You know, I can't imagine, you know, that happening in Dubai. But that's innovation. That's the 21st century. We live in the era of George Jetson now. Remember the Jetsons?
Absolutely,
Me,
classic.
George Jetson, his boy Elroy. You know, that's how we live now. It's an amazing thing to see.
Absolutely, and like even gaming, like virtual reality is a thing now. With
I remember when they first came out with the virtual reality goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Those things were like $10,000-$15,000. Now you can go into a department store. They have some. You can plug your iPhone into it. They're like $10. And you know, it's like the calculators when they came out in the 1967.
Mm-hmm.
A pocket calculator that worked on a 9-volt battery that had a red liquid crystal display that could only add, subtract, and multiply. It was like $5,000 or $6,000, and now they give them away when you go into a store. You know, it's like a perk just for visiting, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But technology, as it changes, the price goes down. But there's always something to balance it on the other side. You know, so I don't know. The economy's a strange thing.
And then with virtual reality, especially because I'm viewing it from the video gaming point of view, right?
Yeah.
And the high-end headsets are just like insane. I know Sony came out with a PlayStation VR last year, which is just an add-on for the existing PlayStation console right now, and it's the headset alone is $750.
Woo, man, I'm telling you. But it's got to be some spectacular technology
Oh,
that
I
goes
tried
into
it.
that.
It's phenomenal. I can't afford
Well.
it, but it's phenomenal. It's
Oh, well.
absolutely phenomenal.
All right, let's see. It's 11:22 here on the campus of the University of Memphis. David Sachs Show, another Saturday night. I hope you're doing fine. 78 degrees outside right now, and we've got some music for you. Well, I'm just going to have to say, without question, this lady is one of my favorite singers of all. It's Diana Krall, and she's got a new collection out now called "Turn Up the Quiet." And of course, that's the great tune. I think that's maybe Cole Porter. I can't remember. Isn't it romantic? It's only one other version of that song that I think I've heard done is nice, and that was Michael Feinstein. But Diana really does it right. She's amazing. What do you think about her?
I think she's phenomenal. She has
Is
a
she still
phenomenal voice.
is she still married to Elvis Costello? I'm not sure.
I'm not entirely sure, but
Yeah.
man, that voice is incredible.
Man, she's absolutely a seductive, wonderful, beautiful, incredible voice. Magnificent singer, great songstress. So that's a great song. I love that song. Maybe Irving Berlin may have written that song. I can't remember.
Maybe it could have been. Could have been.
Absolutely great music, incredible. Now we've got a new collection here. I'm not sure. This is Jeff Alpert. I wonder if he's related to her. That's Herb Alpert's son, possibly. He's a trombonist, and I'm looking to see, is he playing with an F stop or without one? Looks like he's playing the straight bone here. And he's got a new collection out now. It's called Open Your Heart. Here he is right now with Heartbreak Hotel. All right, I like that. That's Jeff Alpert, I think related to Herb, and quite a trombone player in his band. His version of Heartbreak Hotel, I don't think I've heard anything quite like, not like Elvis, a little different. Well, it's 11:55 here on the campus. I'm with my nephew, James Christensen, is here tonight. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my niece, Rachel, and her husband, Bryce, and my nieces and nephews. That's
Leela and Dean.
Leila and Dean. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Still very little.
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
They're pulling the dog's hair now, I guess, and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dog loves them though.
How's Rachel coming along with her? She makes soap as a hobby.
Yeah, she's having a lot of fun with it. She started because she wants something that she could do with Leela, because I think Leela was about 2 years old at the time.
Is it just soap, or is it candles and soap?
I think she does jewelry now as well.
Well, she's doing all that. That's
Yeah.
great. And of course, Bryce now he's a multi-millionaire software designer or something, isn't he? I don't know what he's doing.
He'll be the next Bill Gates.
Oh, is that incredible? He probably will be. I mean, he's amazing. I've had some conversations with him about cyber stuff, and it's hard to keep up with him. It's been a long time. I'd like to see him again one day, of course. While Uncle David is still around, Bryce, you need to come see him. That works on my end, too. I need to, fly down there and see everybody one day.
Mm-hmm.
So, much love to you, Rachel, Bryce, and the kids. And love you very much. It's so great. I know they're listening tonight.
Mm-hmm.
All of your friends listening around the world tonight.
Absolutely.
Now you're getting thousands of messages right now that say, will you tell Uncle David to shut up so you can talk? Is that what they're doing right now?
No, I haven't even checked my phone in probably not really since we right after we started. And people were like, we're listening. So to Claire and Olivia and hi.
That's great. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. First of all, James, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you so great for you to be here tonight. One other thing, let's mention your website again for everybody.
That's right. If you want, every week I'm doing, I'm traveling the world and looking for good food and video games on youtube.com/stuffweplay. Run the series Let's Talk About Games and Stuff We Play. See us on YouTube on youtube.com//stuff we play.
Stuff we play, all one word, actually.
All one word, or just search it on YouTube will come up right there.
Well, I love you,
new
man.
videos
I hope
every
you're going to
week.
be back soon.
It was a lot of fun.
It absolutely
it was a lot of fun. I'm glad
and I
to
think
be
you're
on.
going to have the YouTube video up of the show and everything next.
Absolutely.
It'll
I've
be
been
about
filming
Monday
this.
or so. Absolutely great, man. Well, all right. Anyway, everybody, I want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. I want to wish everyone a happy week ahead. One more time, this is for MLG&W. This is for you. Hey, absolutely is. Memphis Light, Gas, and Water Division. Thank you, MLG&W. and all of our friends all over who came to Memphis to help us this great week. We want to thank you so much. Anyway, everybody, I want to thank you so much for being with me tonight. My nephew, it's so great to be with you every Saturday night. I also want to remind you that WMR is listener supported. Please make a tax-deductible contribution to WMR. Will you please support great music, great radio, which WUMR is indeed. The best thing of all is that you support the University of Memphis. We need you, so stay with us. Until next Saturday night, everybody, good night, love and kisses from the University of Memphis. I'm David Sachs. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. And, of course, you've been listening to The David Sachs Show, only on WUMR. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night, love and kisses. Come back and see me. You're always welcome to Memphis. We'll have barbecue and we'll go to Elvis's house.
Till next time, ladies and gentlemen.